Have you tried that exercise that I sent you from Marsha doing the core breath or no?
No, that was, I think I had it on my desktop,
Yeah,
and then at some point I'm like, I'm doing too much. I have to. And then the thing I stopped doing was the realization process.
that's the thing. That's
Um,
the thing. You shouldn't stop. It's so good. It's so good, man. It's so good.
well, I was actually thinking, I was thinking about this because, oh God, I will have to definitely take out some of the names later when I edit this so no one can be identified. Maybe we can use the whole video, would be great, especially now with the exercise in it. But um, the thing that Andrew, like I was thinking about, okay, how did Andrew start his process, right? And I think the things that he was doing was the meditation and realization process for a while.
He started
And then
Zen.
at some point,
He started
yeah,
Zen
okay, Zen,
for
and then at some
years,
point,
and at
yeah,
some point he started the realization process. But I don't think it
yeah,
matters.
because I was,
Sorry. I don't think it matters what he
yeah,
did.
just
It
go
matters
ahead.
what
Yeah.
it matters what fits with you, right? Like I know for myself, the realization process is the best thing I could be doing for like that I know of, and I think I will benefit a lot from Zen as well. But man, I've been feeling so different. The way I place myself inside the body, the way I feel like I inhabit
Mhm.
myself, and the type of connection to the environment that does create with myself in myself. I can't really explain it, but I'm feeling a lot of things. Like I've been feeling a lot of things. Uh, Sometimes I feel whole. So I have moments where I feel whole, like throughout the day. Like I
Mhm.
feel it's hard to explain, but it feels like just a man. No more boyishness there. I'm still fun and right, but it's I don't know. The inner child is still there, but I can't really explain. It's just a feeling, right? A feeling of maturity,
Mhm.
and the feeling of maturity comes from inhabiting the whole body. When I say inhabiting, is in the inner space of the body.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that's not the only thing that there's more things that I'm feeling, even in relationship to other people. Um, you were doing the finding the point, right? I
Mhm.
felt a difference in you when you found the point. I think because I never felt this before, but I think I can really explain it. It's just a feeling, right?
Because initially I was struggling when I was doing the exercises regularly, right? It was easier to just like attune to the point in your head, in your heart, and in your pelvis because it's like you're doing it every day, so it's like zoom,
Mhm.
right? And so now it was a different thing, and it kind of took a while, and then I still felt there
Oh,
were moments where there was a wavering, like, oh,
I-
in the point, not in the point.
yeah, because that's the
Um,
thing. I think I was feeling you doing this, right? But not physically. I can really explain it. I can really explain it. I never felt this before. This was the first time. But I don't know if it's because I've been doing it so much. Judith says that when you inhabit your internal space,
you can
uh,
feel it.
you can feel the
Yeah.
internal space of other people.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, the realization process is the best thing I could possibly be doing. I do think that I'll benefit a lot from doing Zen because of the concentration it brings, and then mixing both. So basically, it helps me with the realization process. But I have a lot of, you know, tension in the body, emotions pent up in the body, and all of that. And that, for instance, I had this breakthrough like 3 weeks ago. I was like crying for 2 hours. It's the deepest sadness I've ever felt in my entire life. I don't remember feeling such a deep sadness ever. You know, like my whole body was involved in it. My whole body was feeling the sadness. It was, like from the top of my head to the bottom of my pelvis. Like everything was just sad. And it took me a while to stabilize after that, just, a week and a half. But ever since I stabilized into the new openness that I found, right? Because I am more open because of that. I my meditation practice became so much easier. because I feel lighter inside. My mind feels lighter. Um, my breathing feels lighter. And so it's so much easier to just follow the breath. So much easier. There's so much less weight around everything.
That's what I meant before when I said when I was packing all the stuff into my days, right? And it would just weigh me down, and then I wouldn't. Then I feel you're not getting the benefit from the meditation. It's almost like you're doing it at 25% or even less, right? That was my experience, and so I felt, removing some of those things to free myself up more, and then be more present when I'm actually meditating, right? And not like still need to do this, still need to do that, bing, 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 bing,
Yes.
right? And then meditation becomes different. But I agree with that as well.
I mean, but
It's all like intertwined and facilitating each
sorry,
other.
Jack Cornfield.
All good.
Jack Cornfield says that sometimes before you solve some psychological issues, and when he says psychological issues, he means trauma. Before you solve that, it's really hard to sit and focus on the breath. Really hard before you solve this internal conflict, because emotional trauma is internal conflict. So there's this part of you, an emotion, or something, that part of you that wants to manifest itself, and you are subconsciously pushing it down, not letting it manifest. This is a conflict, right? This is a waste of energy. A part of you wants to do this, and another part of you wants to do this. You're in battle with yourself. So Jack Cornfield says, in order to meditate, sometimes first you need to go through some psychological healing. And I clearly need to go through some psychological healing. I've already been through a lot, but I clearly need to. But every time I go through like a catharsis, or feel some emotions deeper, my meditation becomes easier. Just my focusing, my awareness. There's not so much weight, but it's not the weight of daily decisions or daily things. It's just like things that are always there in the background. They're just disappearing. Even the stress of like, oh, I have so much things to do today is lighter. That stress of having so many things to do is lighter. And not only that, sometimes this doesn't happen to me often, but sometimes I have these moments of inhabiting. Just I can't really explain. I'm just doing something, and all of a sudden, whoa, I'm in my body. Like, it just happens. And when that happens, whatever I'm doing becomes enjoyable, whatever it is. It's just like if I'm working and just whoa, all right. And then I when I can't really explain it better.
Does it feel like you're in tune, just like literally in tune with everything that's going on? That's
Yeah,
the feeling, the sensation when I'm fully in my body. It's like I could be sitting in this chair right now, and it
and
just feels like perfect time, right place, like literally like that. Just everything is exactly perfect.
and for instance,
Maybe that was not the right thing that I chose.
you're just
Mhm.
attuned to you're attuned to the qualities of of being. And for instance, when I'm working and this happens to me, I'm more attuned to my quality of my intelligence, my curiosity, because there is curiosity in work, right? I'm doing something like, why isn't this working? That's curiosity, right? Coming up. But we're not attuned to it, right? When you're doing your CRO stuff, for instance, if you are really attuned to the body, really attuned, you can really feel these new, like these things, like curiosity. You're learning something new. Exploration, that's an emotion. That's a quality, at least, that you feel in your body, the exploring stuff. I remember being on LSD a few years ago, like a long time ago, and I remember feeling this quality so vividly, like the exploration, the need to explore. It's not really curiosity. It's just more of this sense of adventure. Life is an adventure, and you have this overall sense that it is so. And I remember that on LSD, but that's something you can actually feel, sober. It's here, it's always here. And even when you're working and you're doing your stuff, if you're inhabited, if you're in the body, if you're attuned to these subtle emotions and sensations and qualities in the body and in the field, like everywhere around you, because there is not really inside and outside. That's the point of the realization process. Then you can you can be working and enjoy it, enjoy the shit out of it. Then it's not work anymore. It's like, and then
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do.
It doesn't matter what it is you're doing, where you are. It feels.
Yeah,
I don't know what word would do it justice.
it feels. It's like you're in a state of flow, right? Maybe, but I know what you
see. None of the words that we pick right now is actually gonna.
It's not
gonna describe it exactly. It's hard, man. The words, they're getting in the way. You're getting in the way of describing it.
But you see what I'm saying, right? And but to reach this point, to reach this, I'm doing this, and and being attuned to all of this, you need to be inhabited, because that's where you feel those things. It's in the body. And so and even the breath, man, like when I'm doing awareness of the breath, which is what I'm going to do after this conversation, when I'm doing just awareness of the breath, I feel in the beginning, I could barely feel the breath, right? I feel the belly just rising, wherever. And now, more and more, I feel the breath spreading through the body. I'm not talking about the physical breath, obviously. It's more of an energetic feeling, this lightness feeling of the breath coming in and out. And the more my body opens, the easier it is to feel the breath in more subtle ways in different areas of the body. But it's helping me my meditation practice as well. And this is for me. For me, the realization process is the best thing that I could be doing. I'm not going to stop doing it. And I really need it. But I do think that, most of us are so disinhabited. And so that's why just doing a breath and concentration practice, just that, you can reach that, because I know that, the breath practice can open up the body. And of course, like there's a lot of things that can happen.
Well,
energy starts flowing.
Yeah, there are all the different entry points, right?
Exactly.
And that's why there is no right and wrong. And to me,
there's no right.
Because there is a lot of psychological stuff as well. That's why I felt, the ideal parents protocol, because I remember, like, just when I do it every day, I notice like all the things, the check boxes that weren't checked, right, as a child. And that to me was a different entry point. And I'm open to, experimenting, seeing how this shapes up. And yeah.
Do you see how if you're more inhabited, the ideal parent visualization will work better for you, because you feel more, you visualize those things, and you're more attuned to what you're feeling. You're more open, you're more vulnerable to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I've been doing the realization process for 2 years now, so I'm a bit
biased. It does. Of course, yes, you are biased, but it does seem like, well, that's ultimately the question you kind of got to ask yourself, right? What is kind of the foundational step that you're going to take that will make all the other stuff more, let's just use the word beneficial for the sake of this conversation, right? And so if it's actually, let's say, the traumas or the embodiment, right, where you suddenly feel your breath more, you suddenly feel your entire body more, you can focus better, all these things, then of course, yes, then it would certainly make sense to incorporate that as the first thing. And now as we're talking about it, it becomes clear. I would say one reason why I felt the ideal parents visualization was so powerful is because it dates back to pretty much when he just got out of the womb, right? Starting, what is it, like 6 months to 18 months? I think roughly around then, like that time period around.
But so does the realization. So does embodiment. That's like the
yeah. That's why. See, that's where you're like then and then you have to feel into, well, is this because you can't do everything at once. We already know that if you're trying to build businesses and also work for someone else at the same time and do the work on yourself, then you have to prioritize, and you have to think in year-long blocks potentially, right? Before you can actually incorporate the next thing. So yeah, and that's why you're like, okay, this works really well for you. And the thing is, and I watched a video on this recently, that when you take an action, the reaction is delayed, right? So it's not like you do something today and then tomorrow you're going to feel the effect. Usually it's like what you did 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or maybe not as long, but let's say a few years ago, now you're going to see and feel the effects of that. Right? So if you were lying on the couch eating potatoes or just eating potatoes, eating pizza, eating pizza all day, right? Not just doing anything, then today you're going to look down on your body and you're going to be like, man, what did I do? Right? And most people, we think, oh, it's probably something I did last week or last month. What do I need to change? Not like, what did I do like 3-4 years ago? Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
yeah, and that's why experimenting and trying it out. There's so many entry points, and each journey is so unique. So,
yeah, I know, like completely. And each journey is super unique, and plus there is no right way. That's the thing, so it's both. Its journey is unique and there is no right way. Having said that, after a lot of searching for myself, the realization process is the shit. At least in this period of time, is I don't see myself stopping, at least in the foreseeable future, because it has helped me so much in so many things, in so many ways. And it's a hard process. I've showed the realization process to a bunch of people. Nobody's ever started doing it, which is sad, because it requires discipline. Is it like meditation practice? Like nobody really wants to do it more than 10 minutes a day, if that much. It's retarded, man. It's just meditation is so hard.
But it's like you have to reach this point where you're like, I'm not gonna take this anymore. And we talked about this before, right? You reach
No more
threshold where you actually you're gonna do what is required to deal with this. You're not gonna be like, yeah, maybe a little bit of this, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, next year. And it's like, no. I have to prioritize this right now, or else I'm just gonna go to shit.
And it's also, and because of that, it's also a practice of taking responsibility, which nobody really wants to. Meditation is a practice of taking responsibility for your shit, right? Because the shit, first, you're unaware of that shit that is here and, waiting your heart and soul. You're unaware of what's happening inside the body, inside the heart. And then as you become aware, you slowly kind of allow yourself to feel it. And by allowing yourself to feeling it, you are taking responsibility, right? By feeling your own guilt, sadness, loss, fear, anger, you are taking responsibility by feeling them. And people don't want to take responsibility, because you'll be taking responsibility for everything when you meditate. Everything is your fault.
It's an active thing, actually, because things are going to come up. And then some people are probably going to, they get scared, or they're going to be like, I don't want to feel this. And they're just going to shove it right back down. And I think that's the instinctual reaction for pretty much everyone who's on this path, because it's like, you're so used to doing that for years and years and years. Stuff wants to come up, wants to work itself through you. And you're just like, no, right back down, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's like baby steps, and also I realized I pinned it as a note to my little board in my room. It's like being compassionate and gentle with yourself, and not forcing yourself, like not with force and bruteness, kind of punishing yourself for things. It's like, it's leading the horse to the water gently, not by whipping its ass and being like, yo, move faster,
Yeah,
right?
it's
That's
the
not
difference.
how it works.
Yeah, it's the difference between like yesterday somebody, I think it was Joe, told me a really good metaphor. The difference between pushing somebody inside the room and letting somebody go inside the room, right?
Yeah.
And we want to let somebody inside the room, but this is with everything, you know. I've been practicing yoga. Now I'm kind of stopped because my back, but yeah, I'm doing physiotherapy also to help with my bodily imbalances because they were due to a surgery when I was 18. But I realized lately in yoga, for instance, especially in the type of yoga that I do, which is they say it's traditional yoga. It's very static. You stay a long time in the postures. You don't move from posture to posture like you do in vinyasa. You just stay there.
What's the name of the one you do?
They don't have a name. They're traditional yoga. I don't know. They don't
We
have a
are doing
style. They don't have a style. What they say is that yoga, like hatha yoga, took 2 or 3 techniques from yoga and used that. Vinyasa took, you know, and they all took something, but they're not whole, like the whole technique, and they teach the whole system that has, you know, like I don't know, 15 or 20 different techniques. Asana, the postures, is one of them. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like asana, meditation, mudra. Kirtanam. So there's like a bunch, whatever. So one thing I've been realizing is that yoga is that's why yoga is so related to meditation and to, you know, just this development of the self and the sense of self. When we're doing a pose, like there's a pose that I really like. It's called, yeah, we call it kanasana, but it's basically you open your legs, you're standing, you open your legs like wide, and then
I like that. Oh, great posture.
no, but you open your legs like this, right, in the floor, like right this, and then you
Yeah.
flex forward,
Yeah.
right? You put the hands on your heels, and then you're like this, flex forward, right? And you know, I've been doing this for some time, right? And what I do is that I want to go forward. I want to go down deeper, 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 deeper. And one day I was practicing, and I was guiding some people here to practice, and I was high. And but this is like interesting what happened. It was I was guiding it, and when I guide yoga, I'm actually doing it at the same time because I did it a lot in Colombia. I'm doing it at the same time, and I'm just describing what I feel and what I'm experimenting in my body, like in my awareness. Like, oh, I'm becoming aware of this, and they say like, let's become aware of this, or you know, like I'm kind of just guiding that way. And I was doing it, and I was high, so I wasn't forcing anything. And then I started saying like, just let gravity do it, you know, the body doesn't need to go down further, just don't do anything, allow gravity to pull you down. And I start feeling like this, and I'm like, my neck decompresses, my spine starts decompressing, my glutes, like everything started going down and just really dropping. But I was not doing anything, I was just allowing. Not only was I just allowing, was that one, the second thing is that I was trusting. We don't allow because we are afraid to trust the process, the universe, whatever. And so I felt there was these 2 components.
Body.
The body, right? What happens when I completely let go? Like the muscle, like I'm no tension in the posture. That's the trust. And so yoga is a process of trusting completely, trusting, complete trust, and complete let go. And they're both, you know, very connected. So, and the letting go is that it's just allow the body to reach the place. Meditation is the same thing. Allow the emotion to come. You're not pulling the emotion up. That's not possible. You know, just allow it. There, allow it. You know, it's allow the process. And so I learned this in yoga as well. And but it's true, right? The process is,
yeah, it's you taking.
Allowing.
Sorry, finish first.
Yeah. And so I was just saying, this is a process of allowing and trusting, even meditation, trusting in meditation, you know, because you're trusting that you're going to be okay after you feel. It's a trust. There's a trust component.
It makes perfect sense because it's the thing that gets in the way is you. You are the thing. And then when you realize you are no thing, then you're no longer in the way. And
Yeah.
things just move on their own with clarity. There's no, you need to think about what to do. It's like, nope, boom, decision. There's no conflict, this, maybe that, right? It's just, like you said, trusting and taking yourself out of the equation. But for that, yeah, practice is required to be able to just let go and to trust. So it's
And a lot
interesting.
of practice. A lot of practice, dude.
Yeah.